last night, game one. I was hoping they started the series on Tuesday so we could have an actual preview, but we're already one game in for the West Conference Finals, which a lot of people, including you and I, believe is the NBA Finals. Honestly, Thunder and Spurs. Spurs up 1-0, and this is about De'Aaron Fox, honestly. But I mean, no one's shocked by the result. I think it's more of the performance by Mr. One Victor Wembanyama. 41 points, 24 boards. I think did he have 5 blocks also in that game? No, he had 3 blocks. 3 blocks in that game. Wow. I mean, I'm pretty efficient for a guy of his caliber. I guess, and we'll talk about the series in a little bit, but I guess I want to focus on Wemby because you can't just not talk about him and about where this thing is going. And this is year 3. We've been talking about this for a couple of years now about where his ceiling is and where we expect to go and whatnot. I guess I'll ask you this because I know my answer to this. I'll ask you, Greg. Mm-hmm. As we sit here doing this podcast on May 19, 2026, is Victor Wembanyama officially the undisputed best player in the NBA now?
Yeah, I mean, I think he should start winning MVPs kind of like LeBron did or Michael Jordan did, like when those guys are in their prime. I mean, this is, if you look at the guys he's competing against, like you look at Jokic. Jokic is a dominant offensive player, but Wemby's dominant on both ends of the floor. Like you could make the argument he's going to wind up being one of the best defensive players ever, and he's giving you 41 points in big games. So, I mean, he's kind of unlike any player we've really ever seen. And my caveat is always he's just got to stay healthy. But if he stays healthy, and I were drafting a team today, and just for next year and age didn't matter, I would start with him, and I think everybody else would too.
Yeah, I think at this point, like you're looking at like winning these titles, and yeah, it does. But there was a time where Michael Jordan, we knew by 1988, 89, he was the best player in basketball without the titles. We just kind of knew, okay, yeah, he'll get there at some point, but right now he's the best player in basketball. We were there. Well, LeBron, same thing too. We were anointing him LeBron's best player in basketball before the titles. I don't think it's any different with Wemby at this point now, and he will get MVP. There's an argument he probably should have won this year. There's an argument for it. I still agree with, and we'll talk about the MVP in a second with SGA because that's a topic we have on the docket. There's an argument that he should have won it this year. I agree with the result, obviously, but you look at this guy's ceiling. I know we keep harping on this over and over again every couple episodes, though, but I don't think people get it just yet. I think people are going to start getting it at some point when this thing grows and it'll be late to the game. This guy's ceiling is the greatest of all time. But like, there's a world where because right now I'm 46 years old. There's a world that, if, of course, health aside, of course, we will discuss his health, that I could be closing on 60 years old, and I'm saying this guy's better than Michael Jordan and LeBron James. There's a world of it, and I see that clearly now, even more so now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the box score doesn't even do him justice because there were 2 specific shots last night, one by A.J. Mitchell, one by Shea, where they were like 3 feet from the basket and they short-armed shots because just his presence near them, even though he wasn't blocking the shot, it's like they were almost afraid to even attempt the shot and they didn't put up like what their normal effort would be. So, I mean, he's just in people's heads anywhere near the paint, anywhere on defense. Guys are, prowling into the paint and then they have to revert back and go back to the 3-point line because of the impact that he has. And then when you get on offense, like Dylan Harper, basically, he's just looking to get the ball to, anywhere around the rim and knows that Wemby's going to dunk the ball. So it's pretty unique what he does, the skill level that he has for the size that he is. I mean, we've seen guys of that size before, but they don't move around the floor like a small forward. They're plotting and, they're oafish and lanky. Like, that's not him. He's quite athletic and quite skilled. So it's, like I said, it's really something that we haven't ever seen before. And, like, he will win titles. That's why when you talk about who's going to get traded where, all these guys, like, you look at Giannis, the discussion is, well, he doesn't want to go to the Western Conference. Because, okay, let's say he goes to Golden State. Yeah. You have to deal with OKC and you have to deal with this. So, I mean, who wants to do any of that? Most of these guys' best bet would be, and this could go for guys in the Western Conference too, get to the Eastern Conference and then just hope that either they get knocked out by the time you get to the finals or he gets hurt by the time you get to the finals. I mean, that's really all you're hoping for at that point because the Western Conference for the next 10 years, is basically a two-team race,
Yeah,
and both teams are loaded with assets to continue building
that's
upon
the thing.
what they already
That
have.
part.
Yeah, yeah,
That part.
like Denver's good. They're not on this level, but they're very good because they have Jokic, but they have no flexibility to move. Both these teams have picks galore, young players, guys that they might not even be able to afford to keep, that they could, package a couple things together and go out and get one player. So, I mean, it's pretty scary the way that the Western Conference is shaping up for a pretty long time.
I'm watching the game last night, right? And both these teams, not just Wemby, but both these teams, how great they are. And I'm hearing doors shut.
Yeah.
And those doors are Luka, God bless you, you ain't winning a title anytime soon. Anthony Edwards, you ain't winning a title anytime soon. Okay? Nikola Jokic, your window might have just closed. Because forget Wemby, you're not being OKC either. Okay? They're still phenomenal and they get better. Both these teams are young. That's the thing people forget. They're young, okay, with the assets. And they already have their core guys for the next 10 years. So I heard multiple doors shut last night. Like, yeah, good luck getting into that conversation because I don't see it. I just don't see it. And Wemby, he's just so unique, bro. And I think for me, more than anything else that stands out for me is that, and I think I tweeted this to I sent it to my family. We have a group text. We have all the guys in the family, and we're talking about the game during end of the game. And I basically told them, listen, the thing that for me that stands out to me is that he's such a throwback. He's a throwback. He's not one of these punk ass kids today who cares more about their brand. Like he's all about business, okay? And I keep telling a lot of these kids, I always say this, like I'm not saying your brand's not important, but the winning makes the brand anyway. If you focus on the winning and winning titles, the brand will be there anyway. It's like Tim Duncan. Like, he focused on the winning. He won 5 titles. Should have gotten 6, honestly. Okay? And this is why we look at him as the top 10 player of all time. Okay? A lot of these players today, I'm not saying all of them are. I'm just saying a lot of these players today, young, it's the culture. I get it. You want to fit in, and it's the me, now culture. Wemby, to me, is a complete opposite of that. He's a complete outlier in so many ways, not just as a player, but even off the court. And it's so refreshing to see. I'm watching him last night, ending that game, his post-game conference, post-game interview. And, like, he's not, like, he's locked in. And he's also he's very serious. That's the word. He takes this shit seriously. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It's such a refreshing to see now in 2026.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, it's not just him. I mean, he could be on, throw him on Sacramento. It's not just him. I mean, the fact that they've got Dylan Harper, the fact they've got Stephon Castle. I mean, like, this is 10 years of, like, dominance, with youth. I mean, even Carter Bryant, like, has had his moments, not just last night, but throughout the previous series. And he really didn't play that much this year. I mean, there's a world where, first and second year guys and Wemby are going to be the next 10 years of this team. So, I mean, they're all going to grow together. And it was remarkable that Fox didn't even play. And Castle and Harper are so good that they can still go out and win a game like that. And obviously, Wemby is the driving force. He's the most valuable player of the game. But they've still surrounded him with the right pieces to where they're going to be relevant for that. And we talked about it last summer. Like, would it make sense for them to go for Giannis, to go for it all? And it's like, well, why shorten your window to 2 or 3 years?
Exactly. Why?
When you can have these guys for 10 years. And like, I mean, I look at Harper and I think he's going to be like a first team All NBA guard.
Yeah, he ascended this playoffs. He ascended.
He is so good. I mean, like, just the way that he gets to the rim, his size, his strength. He's like a bigger version of Jalen Brunson. Now, granted, he doesn't shoot as well as Jalen Brunson, at least not yet. But I mean, just the body control, the footwork, the way that he muscles guys in the paint. I mean, it's pretty impressive to watch. And yeah, I mean, this is anyone's series. I mean, like, we're obviously coming on after game 1, so we didn't do our predictions prior to it. But I mean,
right.
This is probably a toss-up.
We teased this on the show, I think either last week or the week before, about the future of the Spurs, like what they have to do, and because right now they're in a unique situation right now where right now all their core guys are young, on a rookie deal still right now. And we said this, and you agreed. You and I agreed that they have to eventually trade De'Aaron Fox at some point to alleviate some cap room. And that's not a knock on Fox, but the reality is the core. The core of this team is going to be Wemby, Harper, and Castle.
Yeah,
that's the core. That's the core three right there. Number one. Okay. Now Fox obviously being there, it does buy them time until it's time to pay those kids. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking like, you know what, guys, get ready for another Spurs dynasty. It's on tap. It's just on tap right at this point now. The only way they don't win multiple titles in a certain fashion is if the Thunder somehow are able to, tip a tap with them. You know what I mean? They get one, you get one. They get one. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the only team right now that can challenge at this point now. And by the way, you and I are on the same page. Why would you trade for Giannis to be at a place you're already at anyway?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Why would you shorten your window? You and I said this on the show. It made no sense. You're already here. You're not trying to get there. You're already here right now as is. So why would you even trade and then restrict your roster with a guy that's going to be, was it 32 and now currently? Because you have 3-year window and they got to retool that again. No, you have the pieces now in the place you already are at currently. No point in doing that, honestly. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Wemby he's there. I actually said he was there probably at the end of the season. Like, I know Jokic was still really great, and it's not a knock on Jokic, obviously he's a phenomenal player, but Wemby's just different, and we're seeing it, and now we're seeing it in the playoffs where it matters. That's the thing I think you were saying too before the year started. Like, we just got to see it in those moments.
Yeah.
We've been seeing those moments. And the last series, too. Remember how he got ejected in that game 3? Was it game 3? Or game 4 was? What did he do?
I believe it was game 4, but the discussion was, would he be suspended for game 5, which would have been like a pivotal game.
Right.
And they didn't suspend him for
what does Wemby do the next 2 games? Dominates. Okay. Bet. Dominates and kills Minnesota, essentially. So that's the shit you saw with Jordan in those years. That's the stuff Kobe did. Those are the things that the icons of the icons. They saw the window. They saw the challenge. They took it and grabbed it and then ran with it. Wemby's doing that now.
Yeah, I mean
that's why he's special.
The issue for these other teams is that, like, you look at Minnesota, like Gobert can't be on the floor with Wemby. Like, he plays him off the floor. So it's like if you're 7'2", perennial defensive player of the year candidate center can't guard him and is played off the floor by Wemby. Like, where do you go from there? Basically their philosophy was, we're going to go with Naz Reid. It's a better matchup. Like, Chet couldn't guard him last night. So it's like all these defensive stopper centers can't play on the floor with him. They can't stop him. So you saw a lot where they had like Caruso on him just to try and like get into his body and then try and bring help from elsewhere. Like, they try so many different things just to slow him down, and it's a tough.
He's impossible. He's impossible. Like, you had a point now where just let him get his and shut out everybody else. That was the way you defended Jordan back in the day. Look, Jordan will get his 30+. Just shut everybody else down, or at least render Jordan inefficient. But even Wemby's still efficient with it. So,
but even with all that said, I mean, if I were Oklahoma City, I would sign up 7 days out of the week for him taking that 30-foot 3-point shot.
Of course.
So I mean, like,
of course,
they still in their minds should have had that game won despite his heroics. So I mean, that's the weakest part of his game is his 3-point shooting. So I mean, I would have signed up for that. He just happened to hit it. So,
well, you know what you do? You just chalk that up to this greatness.
Yeah,
exactly. Greatness. That's it. So,
yeah, you just hit the cap.